Hi, and welcome to another Papetti Math YouTube video tutorial where I'm going to be teaching you, yes, you, Algebra 1. And in this video tutorial, we are going to continue on Lesson 1 in Chapter 12, the Intro to Statistics. And it says right up top right here, it says when you analyze quantitative data, there are many computations that can be performed to express data as a single number. We're going to be looking at three specifically right now. And these three are going to be the mean, also known as the average of a set of data, is found by adding all of the numbers in the data set and then dividing the sum by how many numbers are in the data set. The median is found by ordering the numbers from least to greatest. That's very important to order them first from least to greatest, and then finding the middle number. So if you have an even number of points in your data set, and there's exactly two numbers that are in the middle, you're going to take the mean of those two numbers, or the average of those two numbers, to find the median. And finally, the standard deviation, and it denotes it as this notation right here. That's a lowercase Greek letter sigma. So this is called sigma x, tells you how spread out the data are. The lower the standard deviation, the closer the data values are to the mean. So if you want a more accurate data set, you're looking for a lower standard deviation because that tells you that all of the numbers are not so spread out. But if you have a very large standard deviation, it means your numbers are very spread out and far apart. So in exercise number 2, it says find the mean, median, and standard deviation of the following data sets using the one variable statistics function in your graphing calculator. So I'm going to be using my TI-84 calculator right here. And what I'm going to be doing to get my one variable statistics is I'm going to click on this button that says stat right here. So when I click on stat, I have the option to edit my lists. So I'm going to click on enter. And now I'm going to have list 1. And with one variable statistics, I'm only going to be dealing with one list, and that's going to be list 1. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to enter all of those data values into that list. 4, 8, 10, 4, enter, 8, enter, 10, enter, 5, 7, 5, enter, 7, enter, 12, enter, 6, 7, 6, enter, 7, enter, 8, enter, 10, 12, and 7. So 10, then enter, 12, then enter, 7, then enter. Now it says I'm on line 13, which means line 13 is blank. That's what you want it to look like, which means you have one less than this number of data values here. So if it's on line 13, that means you have 12 data values. And a way you could check if you input all of your data values is you could go back and you could count to make sure that there's 12 numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. So that means I hopefully put them all in correctly and I input the right numbers. At least I know I have the right number of numbers. Okay. Now, it says one variable statistics function in your calculator. So now what you want to do is you want to click on stat again. And then when you click on stat, you're going to go over to the right arrow and you're going to click on that to go to calc. Now calc is highlighted and the first option here says one var stats, which stands for one variable statistics. So go ahead and click enter on one variable statistics and you want to use list 1. We're going to skip over the frequency list and go straight down to calculate. And once calculate is highlighted, you can click enter. And you're given a whole bunch of numbers here. This first one is X bar, that X with the line on top of it, and that is a notation for mean or the average. So that's the first thing we wanted to find was the mean. So let's go back to our problem over here. And we could write that X bar. We don't have to write the word mean. You can if you'd like, but we know that our X bar or our mean is going to be 8. Now let's go back to our data over here. Sigma x, this is the sum of all of our data. This is the sum of all of our data squared. These measures are not going to be useful for Algebra 1. This is our standard deviation of x, S of x. And this is our sigma x, which is the one we are concerned about because this is the sample standard deviation, and this one is the population standard deviation. So since we're given all of our numbers here, we know that we have the population standard deviation. So we're going to be looking at the population standard deviation for most of these questions. So sigma x is what we want to look at. And again, it also says it right here that we'll be using sigma x in the standard deviation definition. So we could go ahead and write that one too. It also wanted us to find sigma x, and that's going to be, let's round that to the nearest hundredth. So it's going to be 2.45. And finally, it wanted us to find the median. So we're also going to need to find our median, and we'll have to scroll down for the median. And you scroll down by clicking the down arrow key. And when you go down, you'll see, there it is. They're giving you a whole bunch of numbers, but MED stands for median, and your median is 7.5. So just from this list of values, we were able to determine our mean, our median, and our standard deviation. All right, so let's go over to part B now, where it gives us a little bit 7, 7.5, 7.5, 6, 8, 8.5. All right, so we're going to be inputting these into our one-var stats list again. So we're going to go back to stat this time. We're going to click on edit, and right now you have all these numbers in your list. So what you're going to do to clear those numbers out, exactly what I said, clear, we're not going to delete them, we're going to clear them. So you want to go and click up. So L1 is highlighted. Then you're going to click clear. Again, if you click delete, the entire list will be deleted. It will go away. It's very tough to get it back. So we're going to just click clear and then enter. That clears out list 1. Now we're ready to enter our data values into list 1 for part B. So let's enter 7, 7.5, 7.5, and 6. So 7, enter. 7.5, enter, 7.5, enter, 6, enter. We're going to then do 8, 8.5, 9, and 8.5, 8, enter, 8.5, enter, 9, enter, 8.5, enter, and 9, 8, and 9, 9, 8, and 9. Now again, this is now on line 12. So that means I should have 11 data values. Let me go back and make sure I put all of them in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. So I know that I put all of my data values in because this line is one more than the number of data values. So now I want to go back to stat, over to calc, and click enter for one-var stats. I'm going to go down to calculate and click enter. And here's my mean. My x bar is 8, so same mean as the first problem, but different numbers. That's okay. We're going to go scroll down to get our median. Our median is 8 also. So we're going to write our median is 8. And we're going to look at our standard deviation, and we're going to round that to the nearest hundredth again. And our standard deviation is 0.90. Okay. So that's all we're going to do for exercise number 2 now. If this video was helpful in order to find your mean, median, and standard deviation using your graphing calculator, please give it a thumbs up. Now you can click on the video for exercise number 3.